So you want to play Call of Duty again, and them kids are omni-moving in every dang direction. Here's how you can still enjoy playing as an older gamer without relying on your reflexes anymore. Number 1, don't rely on reflexes. Rely on information through Recon builds. In Black Ops 6, if you stack 3 perks from the same tree, and they're color-coded for you, you get a bonus perk called a combat specialty. In the case of Recon, which is blue, you get a perk that lets you see through walls at the start of each life, and get a sense of where the enemy team is heading. With that information in mind, you'll get the drop on them far more often, as well as know where them quick-scoping summa bitches are. Number 2. Stay off radar at all costs. Always pick Ghost. You'd be amazed how many players keep their eye glued to that tiny little map in the corner of the screen, and will be pretty surprised when you show up unannounced. You can use the perk greed wildcard to choose Ghost as an extra perk regardless of your build. You will have to sacrifice having a second primary though. It also goes without saying, make sure to rock a suppressor. Number 3, use unlimited knife sprint to show the kids how it's done from your CSGO days. You've done this so many times. Terrorists win. Number 4, pop the colors. Your eyes are old, so go easy on them. Set the objective color to anything other than red or blue. That way you don't mistake an enemy with an objective behind them for a friend. Taking time. Likewise, set your friend's default colors to something really bright like hot pink, because it's kind of fun, but they'll also be easy to recognize. Number 5, level guns in zombies mode to get new attachments before going into multiplayer. Remember that attachments in Black Ops 6 have mostly positive stats, with a few drawbacks, so anytime you want to start a new weapon, you'll be up against fully kitted and potentially way better armed opponents. That can be a frustrating experience. Fortunately, there's a persistent leveling system, and the game remembers your builds across modes from Gunsmith, so you can get everything unlocked ahead of time. Next up, a few more weapons and tactics that don't rely on reflexes. Number 6, veteran gamers know there's a more elegant weapon from a more civilized age, and that's a light machine gun mounted to cover. With one of these, you can hold down a lane until the spawn flips. Will the kids get mad at you and accuse you of being a camper? Probably. Do you want or seek their approval? Hell no you don't. Get off my lawn, kid.
Not good, right?
Number 7, play support. Grab a launcher or an LMG as mentioned, because you'd be amazed how many people will just let the chopper gunner kill them over and over again, because taking one on just isn't part of their camo unlock challenge. You can also shoot down UAVs and counter UAVs to keep the enemy team blind more often. Black Ops 6 only has score streaks, so it actually rewards you when you PTFO.
5 kills, there's your bar. It's a low one.
Number 8, aim off corners, and expect players to leap out like it's freaking Halloween. Although this is pretty standard in shooters these days, the modern trend is rather than to pie a corner, like in the mill sims you have definitely gone to instead of Call of Duty in recent years, the kids like to take these flying leaps off of corners, and usually if you just aim where they're gonna land, or maybe flop in this case, it generally works out. And that's called putting the kids down for nap time. Number 9, don't forget to fade away. Not permanently or anything like that. Maybe you could force a 1v2 or even a 1v3 in the early 2000s, but those days are gone and that's okay. Instead, when you see more than one player approaching, back off around a corner so that you only ever see one enemy at a time. This can turn your fight from a 1v2 into 2 individual 1v1s.
See how that works?
Number 10, play mind games, because you've had longer to learn how to screw with people. Sprays are back, and that means you can spray friends, enemies, and walls, preferably right after a door. It may only buy you a split second of confusion, but that's all you need. Is it effective? Meh. Is it fun? Yeah. Up the ante by using your foe as a meat shield, and with the mic open, give them unsolicited dad advice for the next 10 seconds. Son, don't go chasing waterfalls. Stick to the rivers and lakes that you are used to. Number 11, you don't have to omni-move, but if you do, there's a few decent starting places. Teaching yourself to dive away from grenades is a pretty natural fit. It also doesn't quite feel right at first, but sprinting sideways means you never have to take your eyes off the thing you're hurtling towards, even if you're going real zigzag. When it comes to the kids diving at you, it's not as bad as you might think. If they flop out in the open, it usually doesn't give them any kind of advantage. The bigger issue is if they suddenly slide out from behind a corner. There are also new settings to turn on that automate sliding, mantling, and diving without any button presses. You can definitely go there and try it. Fewer button presses, easier on your hands. Number 12, build up smart map flow and knowledge. Like your Halo days. Your old tricks all still work here. As long as you build up a sense of where the enemy team usually winds up at what times after spawn flips, you can still pie corners, and the game's auto-leaning system works really well to make this a quicker process. You can also surprise enemies by shooting open doors from a distance. Number 13. Gain more experience by analyzing your matches in theater mode. Just, figure out why you suck and get good. After watching a few matches, I realized I wasn't picking up on the spawn flips fast enough. Number 14. Grab a shotgun and miss a lot more, you old fud. Shotguns aren't the best in Call of Duty, and their range is limited, so don't try and force any lanes with long sightlines. But man, are you effective when you learn your routes. Number 15. Don't play tired. Recognize when it's time to call it a night. Get some sleep. Show those darn kids tomorrow. You're not binging until 2 a.m. for diminishing returns anymore. Do you really want to? And those are our tips for playing Call of Duty as an older gamer. What's changed in your life over the years as you've played Call of Duty? Or if you're too busy with Squad or Hell Let Loose, that's awesome. Let us know that too. Alright, it's 9 o'clock. Time to go to bed and drink plenty of water.